All right, Limited League. It is week 16, playoffs, round 2. Here's your commissioner, Eric Patton.
Hello, Laemmle Leaguers. Hello, Mike D. Thank you for having me in the Mike D multiverse of podcasts. How are things going?
Top of the world in this new year.
All right. Grant Peterson, good to see you as always, my friend. How are you?
Not too bad. Just ruined the demise of my season, but also reflecting on going to see one of the finer films that was released by a major studio this year, a film called Babylon that I believe your cinema is also playing.
We are.
As well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear about you ruining. You're not alone. I'm sure a lot of fantasy football managers had their Christmases ruined this past week. What a harsh reality it must have been for so many people.
We should say also that it started pre-Christmas, then Eve, then it was just
and day after. Yeah. It was a slow burn. Yeah.
I mean, it was a slow burn of a nice meal of entertainment to avoid family. I mean, I can see that by the bottle on your table. You must have had a enjoyable.
I mean, that bottle's a soldier. It's made through a lot of this season. I usually only break that out for the Laemmle League podcast.
Touche.
I
wasn't sure if that was.
It is.
You can't see this coffee cup of wine, but you can see a little bit of vino in there. But
good.
It was a box wine that was used for some mulled wine that we had in Bruges.
Good. Good holiday season for you both, I hope.
Oh yeah, very much so. Good times. It was 80 degrees, and I know most of the country was under snow and freezing at that time. So I'm not gonna complain.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you down in Burbank, Patton and I up here in the Northwest, where it went from from snow and sleet to suddenly flooding, and meanwhile you're just no fires yet,
sweating, shorts on, getting mad. That's
like
hot.
78 on Christmas Day.
We got your weather the last 2 days. It is a cool 57 degrees here in Los Angeles. Traffic on the ones.
No SIG alerts going on, nothing like that.
Lots of SIG alerts. That's all.
Lots of SIG alerts. Okay.
Operative segments and a full alert.
Well, business as usual in Los Angeles. It sounds like.
Yes, it is.
What is Morning Becomes Eclectic like these days? No more Jason Bentley, so I haven't been tuning in lately. So.
Hey, by the way, I emailed you the link. I don't know if you want to send it out now or you can do it after the show, but I just realized that there is a link created right when I click live. So,
okay, great. Thank you. Good. All right, well then let's get into this. It was the second round of the playoffs, the semifinals, and let's start with defending champion John Apted. Back to back was squaring off against Christie, Team CT here. And it was a decisive victory for Apted on his quest for a second straight title, winning the game 112-57. What do we think about this matchup, fellas?
I think it. Sorry, Grant. I think of it just as probably Derek Carr thinks about it.
You think Christie wants to step away from her team for a couple of weeks now?
Yeah, go back to Texas and Fresno State and look for a job. Maybe he'll be the Carolina Panthers next quarterback. But yeah, taking a look off to my left, everyone let her down.
They did. It wasn't just the Raiders; it was everyone. Dalvin Cook was, 64 yards was one of her bright spots.
Yeah.
For the entire squad. Zay Jones, who's been just hot as a pistol the last couple of weeks, caught one ball for 14 yards. Latavius Murray acted like a guy who wasn't on an NFL roster at the beginning of this season because he wasn't on an NFL roster this season. So he came back down to earth. Just a tough week for Christie.
I mean, the one thing whenever we start doing these, I always do like a little prelim, and one of the things I do myself, and I hate this because I blame Kirk Cousins for this every week, as Eric will reiterate later. I look at the bench and I'm like, fuck, Lawrence, 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then Akers, 33.7.
Cam Akers, yeah. I mean, this is a guy who there was a lot of hype around at the beginning of the year, and then everyone gave up on him, and now he's sort of fulfilling on that.
And both of those, I'm just like, you see 57 to 112, and you're like, damn it. All right. If those two, you start going to the models of like, okay, if then here's what it would look like. And I'm like, yep, stop. Don't do it anymore.
Well,
but
Baker and Akers trying to get their mission was to get Hackett fired. They certainly did.
Touche.
Yeah. A lot of what ifs on Christie's bench here. Like you mentioned, Trevor Lawrence also been red hot. Came down to earth a little bit. Had a decent game, not great, but still better than the GOAT. Brady only gave her 11 fantasy points. So, it's going to be a long offseason for Christie. She'll have to think about some of those moves. But a lot of those moves would have made much of a difference anyway. Apted had a big game. Apted has been rolling along all season long, and this past week was no difference whatsoever. He's missing Lamar Jackson. That would be enough to sink a lot of teams. But he just grabs Jared Goff off the waiver wire, plugs him right in, gets 355 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Love it.
I said this, I think, off air. I did watch this week's Hard Knocks. So, talking about TV. And that thing of like, looking at his 11.34, 2 interceptions. I mean, at what point do we don't need to talk about that, but the idea that we have this wonderful pseudo documentary, very sculpted.
Yeah.
It's still fun to watch.
Are they going the whole all to the end of the season?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I think we have 2 more episodes. I think they did that last year with the Colts and Mr. Reich.
Yeah.
But it was still fun, like especially like seeing TB there, TB12. It was like, oh yeah, it was fun. And everyone, there's always like the glad handing, backslapping.
That's the first time playing non-Super Bowl Tom Brady in Arizona at State Farm Field.
Yeah, and also like you had the Watt retirement also announced on this episode. And
nice.
And like the previous episode also being like, oh hey, you want to see a QB tear his ACL? Here you go. Hey.
Like the last episode was, hey, you want to meet the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals? Because it's going to be the defensive coordinator.
You mean Kingsbury and is not going to be around much longer?
I can't imagine, man.
Sorry. But go ahead, Mike.
No, to be honest with you, I haven't watched the current episode, but I did watch last week's episode, and when the owner came in, I was not. I'd be like, I don't know if I really want to play here in Arizona. Well, you didn't really get me too pumped up there, airline pilot dude.
What was worse than the owner, Kingsbury or the owner? Like
both. Kingsbury says sound bites, and the owner says, "Hey, hey, by the way, I own the team. I guess he's the majority owner or whatever."
Dude in a sport jacket with jeans and some really expensive $1,000,
Cessnas,
Adidas, but not Adidas. And hey, you want to be here? And then
Yep.
Sorry, but I derailed from our conversation.
No, it's all good.
No, just like Christie's team derailed there in the semifinals.
Indeed.
So.
Can I also bring up one other thing?
Sure.
Mr. Commissioner, were you going to mention Nick Chubb and his poor output with the recent Browns QB?
I was. He was going to be right after Jared Goff, who was going to who I just touched on. I was going to continue on to Nick Chubb on the roster. So yeah, please feel free to share your opinion on the 92 yards from Cleveland's lead running back.
Shitty QB.
Okay.
He's just rusty. He's
shitty
just rusty.
QB plus shitty weather, and yeah, let's try throwing bricks at people. Sounds good. Great idea. Yeah.
What am I missing? If you got to hold on, what am I missing then? Cleveland Browns, because we hold you responsible for the moves made by the Cleveland Browns, Grant. If you've got a shitty quarterback in shitty weather, why isn't your superstar running back getting 30 carries?
I don't know. Maybe we have a terrible former coach of the year from, was that last year or the year before?
Stefanski won coach of the year?
Yeah. Let me pull that up real quick.
And Baker Mayfield beat the Rams, and he beat. No, it's interesting too, because obviously the weather. Watching the games, I was like, if I lived in Cleveland, I would probably, somewhere, I'd probably throw on 5 or 7 layers and go check out this football game.
I mean, the idea that I was listening to the Browns radio broadcast via NFL Plus because I abuse my
VPN.
No, my employment's email address that has .edu at the end.
Yeah,
and that listening to the broadcast when I go to the grocery store. Because NFL.
Oh yeah,
Sunday ticket. You can only do so much, but
coming to YouTube next season.
Listening to the Cleveland Browns broadcast, where the radio broadcast was saying they were encouraging fans to come down to the lower bowl because no one was there because of how shitty the weather was.
Oh yeah,
and my beautiful, wonderful girlfriend also said no one would be there. Why the fuck are people there as it is? And
Now my question is, in Buffalo, you see that red light area? I always wondered, is that like the expensive where the heaters are coming down from the ceiling and everyone else is out? But yeah, no, I mean it's cold as fuck. So
I mean they're on the lake. Both of them are on the lake. One is a little bit further northeast, but like. Again, to Patton's point, like coach of the year, shitty QB, like coach of the year 2020. We're almost at 2023.
Well, let me side rail for just 1 second because I was driving around in 80-degree weather, and for some reason my car, for some reason the radio, these guys were talking about Cleveland, the Browns for like an hour. I'm listening to the Cleveland Browns. I realized I was listening to iHeartRadio Cleveland Brown Sports Radio after a while.
That'll do it.
Well, I know everything you know about the Browns and their extension to the guy, whether he's worth it or not, and whether Deshaun Watson is the guy. So, yeah.
I mean, a hand release is only good for so long.
Well, before any of our many viewers think that perhaps they're listening to Cleveland Browns radio station, why don't we move on to the rest of this matchup and take a look at Justin Jefferson, the first-round pick for App's Head, who continues to just absolutely lose his mind with 12 catches for 133 yards and a touchdown.
And also makes me hate the fucking Vikings.
Nah, well, the Vikings are going to be playing from behind every game, it seems like, and winning by just a few points. But it seems like they finally got that connection. He's not having 5-point games in the last couple of weeks. So
right, yeah, there were a couple of valleys among the many peaks to this season, but they seem to have that figured out. Speaking of valleys and peaks, Chris Godwin's been a lot more consistent lately for Apted, pouring in 8 catches and 63 yards from Brady.
Yep, probably healthy now. By week 16? Yeah.
Can I also mention something that I think it's been almost 5 or 6 weeks that Travis Kelce has not had a touchdown?
Well, I don't know, but let's see. I mean, he doesn't really need it from a fantasy perspective when he's pouring in 113 yards, given Apted 14.3 points. It looks like, his last touchdown was week 12 against the Rams. I wish we hadn't brought that up since I'm facing him next week. He'll no doubt, he'll regress back to the mean, which is him scoring touchdowns.
4 touchdowns by Travis Kelce.
I apologize for that, Commissioner Patton. But
if you're listening, Travis Kelce, to this show, he's like, I heard on a podcast I haven't scored a touchdown in a couple weeks.
It's only been since that time we played the Rams in LA.
No,
they didn't have Baker yet.
Well, Baker.
Different team.
Totally different team. My apologies, Commissioner Patton.
And no apologies necessary. Unless I lose, of course, and then there will be many apologies necessary. Even Apted's bench just stacked. I mean, DJ Moore gave him 17 points. Zeke on the bench got in the end zone. Jerry Jeudy went over 100 yards. Russell Wilson supported a 117-yard performance from one of his receivers, at least in part because Russell did come out towards the end of that game. So maybe Rippon got a few of those 117 yards. Who knows?
Yeah. And it looks like, if you look at this matchup, you're not going to start Akers. I wouldn't have started Akers anyway.
No, I get it. Hindsight's 2020. Latavius Murray had a big game for Christie the week before. I would have felt really worried about him. I would have felt like I was on borrowed time. Once I got that big game out of Latavius Murray, I don't know if I'd have gone to the well again. Doesn't say I'd have started Cam Akers. No. That's the flex. She could have gone anywhere with that. So, and again, hindsight is obviously 2020. But
and I would say Dalvin Cook is kind of a disappointment to me. I think it's kind of a disappointing season in fantasy, at least.
No, running back 8. You know what I mean? He's a first round pick. You definitely want more than running back 8 out of that. I think, yeah.
Exactly.
He was taken with the overall eighth pick in the league. Christie took him. So, hey, I had my sights firmly set on Dalvin Cook coming into this season, so I thought he would have had a bigger year than he did.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But not too much breathing room, I guess, with Justin Jefferson sucking up as many yards as he does.
No, yeah, Jefferson, and then you add T.J. Hawkinson, then you add that's about it, really. But and his backup's not too bad either. So
a lot of talent in Minnesota. A lot of talent on Apted's team, and he is 1 win away from fulfilling the bold proclamation that was his team name and going back to back.
Damn, that's a call. He's calling a shot.
Yeah. There's only one team standing in his way, and that's the team fielded by your commissioner. As I was able to how should I put this? Tumble ass backwards into the championship game? Is that a fair description when you put up 91 points and still find yourself in a Laemmle Bowl?
Yeah.
I'll take it. Survive in advance, right? I'll take it. But, Parker is a hell of a fantasy football player, and I think he's got to be kicking himself for some of the moves. He picked up Jared Goff earlier in the week, as I boldly proclaimed myself on this program last week. I was going to try to block Parker from picking up a quarterback. The quarterback I chose to pick up was Daniel Jones, and Parker picked up Jared Goff. And I didn't notice this, but Parker at some point during the week abandoned the idea of Goff, dropped him in favor of Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Now, again, I wasn't aware of this. So I'm watching the games, and Goff is going, losing his mind, and I'm thinking I'm just sunk. And I'm cursing myself for not picking up Goff. Little did I know, Parker actually started Gardner Minshew, who had a great game, 355 yards, 3 total touchdowns, but put up a few points fewer than Goff, which in the end, made a difference.
Yeah, I picked up Gardner in 2 other leagues. I like him. I know he's playing with a heavy heart with Mike Leach passing away, who kind of started his career in college football. So he's a good quarterback, and he's basically auditioning, saying, "Hey, next year I can throw touchdowns. Give me some talent. I can do the same thing." So
why should Derek Carr be the only backup quarterback in the NFL next year?
Exactly. And Mariota. But so I feel you, Parker, and the 3 pepperoni slice. I would have done the same thing. I do not trust Jared Goff down the stretch, but so far he's proven us wrong.
You know what? I didn't on the road, but at home, I'm not looking forward to facing him next week on Apted's crew next week. He's good at home.
But yeah, quite a matchup. I mean, what was the difference here? Probably, you know what? I see what the difference is just looking. And I also have Aaron Jones and did not understand why Aaron Jones was not playing.
Yeah, I don't know. He was not in there much. And again, as I've said many times on this show before, I don't like to know who my opponent has rostered because I don't want to watch them beat me.
Wow.
I knew Parker had Aaron Jones. I didn't know he was very Green Bay heavy in this game.
Yeah.
Not only did he start Aaron Jones, but he started his backfield mate, AJ Dillon, as well as Christian Watson.
Wow. Interesting.
Can I
what's up, Grant?
I gotta bring up something here. Just looking at kickers. We didn't talk about the previous matchup, but again, kickers. As someone who was a Tucker grabber early, pissed off some other league member.
Be careful. You don't want to get the reputation of being a Tucker grabber.
I know, but I'm just saying, like someone who grabbed for Tucker, thinking, and then we've learned very quickly that for someone like Baltimore, they have not been able to rely on Tucker. But then I look at for this matchup right now, Bill Maher. Oh, sorry. Brett Maher.
It's real time with
Brett Maher. And again, but a kicker has 18 points. What the fuck am I looking at? What is this?
Hey, look, your commissioner has been the most vocal opponent of kickers that you are likely to find. I don't want them in the league. I never do. I never did.
I get it.
And this week I advanced because I advanced to the championship game this week with my kicker being the highest scoring player on my roster.
There you go.
On my starting roster, at least.
I was sorry to be nitpicky, but I was just like, what the fuck am I doing wrong here?
It's nonsense. It's
swears.
But look, Tucker got 14 from this kicker.
Yeah, no, but I'm looking at both of you, like this matchup, and I'm like, 18 versus 14. Like, oh, my shitbag QB, Justin Herbert, rib man. All right, we'll get to that later.
I get it.
But I just wanted to bring it up while we're discussing your matchup here of 18 versus 14.
Yeah,
that might be a QB.
It's silly
fantasy.
It was my high scorer in the roster, and it's Parker's second high scorer.
Yeah,
again, it's just random. And you mentioned Justin Tucker letting down, or Baltimore not being able to rely on him, but in the fantasy world, it's the other way around. Justin, the Baltimore's not generating enough offense for Tucker to benefit from it. Tucker's twice the kicker, the real time with Brett Maher is, or whatever this
But-
fucking is.
But I
Right?
mean,
He's twice the kicker, but Maher is kicking for the highest scoring team in the league, or one of them at least. So he's getting a lot of opportunity, a lot of extra points, and even when they're not scoring touchdowns, then he gets to get field goals in there.
I will say with real time with Brett Maher, though, at least he's making them. Whereas Tucker is one.
We've named him that now.
Tucker's washed up. He's washed up.
Tucker's losing it.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have opera careers throughout Europe and Southeast Asia. He speaks 6 to 8 languages right now that we know of.
He's going to Canada.
But I look at this, though. I'm like 18 and 14. I wish I had any players with that output.
It's ran,
and those are fucking kickers.
Well, see, I'll just say this: I keep my kicker until his bye week, and then I just go and click projected scoring, and then if their name makes me laugh, that's when I'll get it. I'll pick their name.
I picked up Brett Maher, Brett Mahi on December 10th. I mean, I got this guy 2 weeks ago.
Or if I can make a team movie name out of it, I'll
get him out in Club Med with Bill Maher here soon.
Well. Right. Well, it's the thing, Dallas had a late bye, did they not? So it's like you're not going to roster a kicker during his bye week. It just doesn't matter. Maybe unless it's Tucker. Like there's very few kickers you're going to roster during a bye week. So you just let him go, and that you just want to be opportune and look for that sort of thing. When you might not. We focus on receivers and quarterbacks and running backs on the waiver wire, but keep your eye out when a big name kicker pops out. It might be something that you need for the rest of the year. I mean, this guy he's the number one kicker in the league right now.
Yeah, Dallas's defense was outstanding in this game because Gardner's turnovers. I think he had 3, but they weren't really his turnovers. They were more one got ripped out of someone's hand, and then the pick 6, which is an extra point, and then they sealed it up with a field goal. So
yeah. Well, the defense is an interesting point because Parker started that Dallas defense despite during the week he picked up that Charger defense, which had 3 interceptions and only gave up 3 points to the Colts, earning them 20 fantasy points. I don't know if Parker struggled with that decision. I would love to have him on the show so we could talk about it. But Dallas is facing, even without Jalen Hurts, man, Philly's a high-powered offense. And, Dallas is a much better defense than the Chargers are, of course.
Yes.
But, at this time of year, matchup is everything.
Yep, exactly.
When can I ask both of you, when will Jerry World implode?
Figuratively, like the Jerry, or not the stadium, but what do you mean?
I mean, just Dallas bullshit. Like,
when he dies.
Hey, Dallas.
when he dies.
I mean,
I'm always hoping like the Cowboys, like, oh yeah, man, boom.
Oh,
I look forward to.
It's been 20-something years since they've done anything.
Yeah, no, and I like them to maintain and make it to 30 if possible. But no, I it's one of those things of like, oh hey, Dallas, and I'm like, nah, what?
They're America's team.
Fuck that.
They are America.
They're not America's team. There are no teams. They are Jerry's team. Sorry. But no. I was just like, it's like the Dallas. I'd rather Philly. I'd rather.
Oh yeah, no, Philly's a great team. Yeah. I'm not a Cowboys fan. No, I'm not. No.
But I just look forward to the implosion when it will happen.
Yeah, a lot of people do. This is a bit of an implosion for both myself and Parker this week. Someone had to win. It was me. It came down to Monday Night Football. Parker needed about 4.5 points from Cade Otton. I thought this was inevitable. Cade Otton is not a name that strikes fear in the heart of opposing fantasy football managers. However, he only needed 5 points, and Tom Brady likes his tight ends, right? Tommy likes his obviously Gronk, but we see him go to Cameron Brate, we see him go to a lot of these guys, and to that point, Otten got 7 targets. He got 7 targets on Monday night. Luckily for me, though, only caught 2 of them, and that only resulted in 12 yards.
Oh man, yeah. He probably felt all the Gronk pressure of Gronk saying, "Well, I'm not going to play this year, but maybe I'll play with the Raiders next year with Tommy."
I mean, he was working with I think an acting coach, so his USAF ads have gotten better.
Those are painful, dude.
Yeah, he's like,
my mom says I'm special too.
I don't think it's Gronk. I think it's weird that they're having a non-serviceman ask questions.
They're milking it. They're wanting.
I mean, Gronk is just dumb. We were watching Football Life, anyways.
Hey, he's going to be the next. He's going to have the next Fire Drop movie. He and JJ Watt are teaming up.
Is he going to be what Bosworth could not achieve in that last Fire movie from the mid-90s?
It's what Howie Long did achieve.
Oh, thank you. You corrected me there. I thought it was Bosworth. Didn't Bosworth?
No, Bosworth did one too.
He did other movies, right?
Yeah. Bosworth sealed his fate when he got ran over by Bo Jackson.
I was going to say he was in that violent horror picture where he got run over by a.
I mean, Bo knows Bo.
There was no expectations of him being
fair enough.
I think they show that clip to student drivers. They don't want to
Jesus.
Okay, so I just want to take a moment to apologize to the entire Laemmle League that I am advancing to the Laemmle Bowl after scoring 91 points. But hey, survive in advance, and
congratulations!
And it's me and Apted in the finals, and it should be interesting.
Making some popcorn watching this matchup. I'm not even gonna watch. I think we're done, right? Just you guys playing, right?
There's a consolation. There's a couple games in the consolation, I think. Yeah. It's an interesting. I'll say this though, it's an interesting finals. I mean, you got Apted, who's looking to become not only the first Laemmle player to ever go back to back. No one's ever done that. Trick. But as of right now, there's only one player in the league who's got multiple championships. So Apted would also become the second player to win more than one title, and the only person who can stand in his way is the person who doesn't want another player with multiple championships, and that is myself, of course. So it'll be very interesting. Apted, we've squared off twice this season. He's beaten me twice, including the last time I lost. My team has won 8 of the last 9 games. The only game we lost came in. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. Came in week 12 when I lost to Apted 155-86.
Ooh.
So, I mean, myself, I'm just the fantasy football manager. These are all just statistics to me. It's cold and they're numbers, but my guys are pissed off. You know what I mean? My guys, AJ Brown, I thought he broke his fist after he punched the locker after that loss to Apted last time. So I'm just going to say, my guys are embarrassed. They don't like that they've lost twice, and I think they're going to come with it this week. So you better get ready. That's all I'm saying.
You got a line. You're plus 2.8 in the championship game. I like it.
Well, that doesn't make me feel good at all, Mike. If ESPN thinks I'm doing well, then I'm in a lot of trouble.
I mean,
it's interesting.
It's you do have a good team name.
We'll see. There's a couple on deck. I feel a lot of pressure to come with a good team name, being in the championship game and all that.
I mean, only because back-to-back has been back-to-back.
Hey, he, like Mike D said, he called his shot at the very beginning of the season. That took cojones, and he has lived up to it so far.
Owning it, do it.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. Should be a lot of fun.
540 minutes left. I love it. I like this breakdown. There's a lot of numbers up here. I like it.
But those were not the only two games on the schedule last week. We had an absolute barn burner between our co-host Mike D and Team Jones. Curtis, both of these teams were eliminated from the playoffs last week, but both of them brought their A games nonetheless. Man, 128 to 127. You won by, what are we doing here? 18 and 8. You won by 26, 2.26. You won by
Jalen Waddle.
0.26. That's
Jalen
incredible,
Waddle.
man.
It was exciting because I thought I lost, didn't think I had a chance. But then at the end of the game, I knew it was Waddle. I was like, did he have enough? Did he have enough? Then I was like, holy shit. Which gave inspiration to another league that I am in, who someone was down, I think I was down like 21 points or something like that. And I was like, it can happen. You can come back. You can do it. You can do it. It happened to me in the consolation round.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about these matchups. I mean, it's everything. Harrison Butker had 3 extra points for you. If he has, only 1 extra point, you lose. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so many things. Like, if McCaffrey has 1 fewer catch, it's stuff like you lose. It's incredible.
Yeah, that was exciting. And then I had because it was between Waller, but I went with the team name, so I kept him in the lineup, and I was going to do Juwan Johnson, but he obviously didn't play. But I kept seeing a lot of Drake London. I was like, who's that number 5 guy for the Atlanta Falcons? He's catching a lot of footballs.
Yeah, especially since Pitts went down. Drake London's been a bit of a target monster. Doesn't catch a lot, doesn't do a lot with them. He's usually around 100 yards, but they don't get in the end zone all that much. Saquon had a nice day for you, 84 yards rushing and a touchdown. Must have caught a couple passes as well.
Yep. Saquon played well, and I was watching his guys. I thought Derrick Henry was, like I said, it was basically, I think it came down to both. I think it was like Hill versus Waddle. So whoever had the better game would be close to winning. And sure as hell, it was Waddle.
It was Jalen Waddle for sure. 143. I mean, that one, and again, we talked about this. Tua hits him on like a 15-yard slant, and Waddle just runs away from everybody, man. It was crazy to watch that play. I don't know if you guys know the play I'm referring to, but he just went into another gear and just ran past these dudes.
Yep. And then again, it was like cold weather, so it was very unpredictable of what was going to happen, which kind of made it exciting because when you're in the playoffs and you're like, everything comes down to, oh my gosh, it's like -5 degrees out there. What the hell are they going to do? Right. Anybody can catch the ball and go off because someone's going to miss a tackle, or if someone just saying, I'm fucking cold, I'm not blocking this guy.
Right. So on the other side of the ball, Curtis had got a huge game from Devontae Smith, 8 catches, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Eagles' number 2 receiver.
Yeah, he was getting up in the air, stretching, catching the ball by the fingertips. Gardner was throwing a helmet above helmet high, but he ran up there and got those. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch the mustache and Philly style. The Philly stash.
No on his bench, I'm sure Curtis would love to have that 22.5 points from DeAndre Foreman off his bench, man. I mean, he got great production from his running backs, so it's hard to say who you're not going to start there. But big day from both of Carolina's running backs. Chuba went for like 125 also.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they can still make the playoffs.
I got to also throw in, I mean, when you see the new episode of Hard Knocks, seeing Lenny Fournette
20 minutes.
Have some fun. Yeah, exactly. 20 minutes. When you see Lenny Fournette have some fun, that 20.7 there is like, oh yeah, that was good. And prior to our recording this, so it's like, oh yeah, yep. Oh, hey, he's doing good.
But he didn't play very well the last couple weeks, so.
No, he did not. But,
I think Tommy even said, "Hey, he came to play today." He really was coming to play.
There was some good Tom. I mean, between the Watt retirement, there were some good Tom bits.
Just like we drew it up.
Indeed.
So yeah, I mean, this is a match that's worthy of a semifinal. Parker and I are putting up 91 and 87, and you guys are just going off on throwing haymakers. So what a matchup for you two.
That was our championship, and I think we might play again back to back.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I think we do. I think we might play for 4th place or 5th place or something like that.
You play again, Apted?
I think I think Curtis and I play this week, maybe.
Yeah, back to back, otherwise known as Apted.
Ah, there you go.
All right, so nice win, Mike D. Getting the nail biter over Curtis for the victory. Not bad at all. I think we should move next to what I think is the best team name of the week, a Chris Smith-Schuster story. That was fantastic, Grant. Grant squaring off against Team Fan.
Thank you. Before you proceed, you can talk. I'm gonna go refill my wine glass.
Nice. He's already has to drink just before. I like it.
Before we start talking about his matchup, he needs to have another drink, huh?
It's 1.1. His 5.5 from Herbert. Get the win though.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to talk
about
that, Mike D? You want to put your 2 cents into what happened with Justin Herbert? I mean,
I'm
garbage. How does he have such a mediocre game?
That Indianapolis defense. Now, to be honest, I had it on in the background because I believe there's a Blazer game at the same time.
It's fucking embarrassing.
Back and forth, but what was his numbers?
Herbert went for 235 yards and an interception. That's it.
So it was basically
and a fumble. He had one interception and he fumbled also.
It was trash.
It was Eckler time. Eckler.
Yeah.
Well, he had 67 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't know if the defense maybe scored 2 at some point, but it was they didn't really need to do much. It didn't seem like that Indy offense was so bad.
I mean,
maybe that was it. Maybe that was it. Maybe all week they're just like, you know what? You can play super shitty and still win with this team. So maybe go half speed.
I mean, they kind of play down to their opponents often, don't they?
I mean, at this point too, Mike, you got to be happy with the Chargers with Herbert.
Well, they're making the playoffs. So
yeah,
you
got to be
get them healthy, get them in there, and see what they can do.
I mean, how about his ribs though?
Ribs, no ribs. I mean, they don't really have a choice because they're not playing. I think it's Chase Daniels or something. I think that's the backup. But and they're not sitting Eckler. Eckler's not sitting this week. He's playing. So
no, Eckler feels too much responsibility to his fantasy football managers.
I mean,
he takes that shit seriously, man.
Yeah. I mean, he finally dialed it in after week 4. So, I mean,
you can't complain about Austin Eckler. I mean, he's the number 1 running back in the league. So that that he had a good season for you, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Did you have thoughts between? I mean, you got 3 choices. You got Cousin, Watson, and Herbert.
I mean, I really debated, and not to mention another show, another network, but Bill Simmons also brought up the very debate of, does one activate Cousins off one's bench? And when you don't, you learn. and you lose. So
yeah, you just gotta run. You gotta go.
fucking damn it! But when you do, you lose. It's like
right.
you lose either way. It's lose-lose with Cousins. I'm sorry.
Well, what wasn't lose-lose was in fact win-win-win was the performances from 3 of the tight ends in this matchup. The 3 highest scoring tight ends in all of fantasy football were all in this matchup.
Yes, they were.
With TJ Hawkinson, Greg Kittle, and then Higbee on Grant's bench also going off. Big days for all 3 guys.
I mean, Higbee was the one that I was like, whoa. Not that I made the mistake. I wouldn't have made
Baker.
I had tried him once. But Kittle, wow.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks for Kittle. I mean, I feel like he kind of does this. I feel like he gets hot at the end of the season a lot. I don't know if it takes him getting warmed up or he's always hurt. So, maybe he's just coming back at the end of the year often. But I feel like he has, a lot of big stretches towards the end of the year. And he's definitely in the midst of one right now.
But when does the Purdy pyramid fall?
Never. Next season after the Super Bowl.
Okay. After the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl. After they.
So when Jimmy comes back.
When Jimmy and Tommy and Derek Carr are all there hanging out together.
Wait. So Tommy is coming because Giselle does not want to live in San Francisco. So
well, now I'll give Shanahan credit because it seems like every year that team falls apart, but he's like either 1 or 2 games away from the Super Bowl.
So they're gonna fall apart in 3 weeks,
but it seems like Purdy's not falling apart. So maybe this is it. Maybe he found his dude and was like, "Hey, dude,
he's gonna get crunched by someone soon, right?"
Well, I think the dangerous thing is that he doesn't have anything to lose, so just go out there and play.
Nothing to lose but himself.
Exactly. He's going to be the backup quarterback in Arizona or something. For the next 5 years.
But hey, Mike, there's a pivot. Sorry, Commissioner, to interrupt.
No.
When does Cliff go?
Kingsbury? That's a tough one because he has, as you know, the owner is not very, he's not a single owner and probably doesn't have that kind of cash. So he might just stick with Kingsbury rather than pay him out that big contract. Unlike the Walmart money where they can just say, hey, no problem, we'll just have a rollback sale and pay the Hackett sale.
In digression, Commissioner Patton, continue.
You had Tucker. You had Tucker though going.
Yeah. Tucker fucked me.
Well, here, let me ask you this, Grant. You never considered like, hey, I just we're having fun here. Let me start 5 Browns, 5 Cleveland Browns.
I mean, Deshaun, I thought, that was one of those hold it, maybe. Should have dropped it after week 1 when he was activated because the rust for 2 years, not worth it.
Hey, Purdy rested for 20 years.
The same way though, too, Kareem Hunt, he was great last season. This season, nah.
I just say, I don't think he wants to be there.
He was very good last season. This season, nah.
Well, he asked for the trade at the beginning, and I think when they didn't give it to him, he's just like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, fuck this. And then they've really made it a point to be like, hey, DPJ, what are you up to? Oh, you can't catch that? We're still going to throw it to you.
And we're going to give you a 10-year extension for $225 million. Congratulations.
Wait. Oh, we give it to 2 people? Shit.
And more on the Cleveland Browns right after this break.
Sorry, Patton. Sorry, Commissioner.
We have our own independent Hard Knocks.
What are we doing in the Browns hole? Sorry.
We got in the Brown hole.
Well,
at least Samuel didn't sneak up on you out of the hospital bed. and score a point. That would have been something just for him to show up and say, "Hey, let me play one snap and then get a half a point."
Oh, hey Baker, where'd you come from?
Or you could if you were paying attention, you could have countered and maybe do you have anybody with 0 on your bench?
0
Or picked up somebody that was
0.
hurt? No.
Yeah, Matt Collins tried. He came pretty damn close. But,
at one point too.
Anyway, sorry, Eric. Sorry.
No, not at all. But it was Team Fan getting the win. Although I think Grant's team name alone should earn him a victory.
I ran out of Herbert names.
You definitely exhausted the Herbert names. That's for sure.
I did have this nice Rucker Hauer.
Ooh. Yeah, wanted dead or alive.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I could figure out some name with it. Montgomery, dead or alive.
I've been trying to find a to live or die in LA tie somehow.
Oh, don't get me started on freaking names. I got a whole draft file of freaking names.
We'll do a whole show on those.
I mean,
well, that brings us to our final matchup of the week, and that's the treasurer, Caitlin, Country Roads Take Mahomes versus Justin. Get this fucking season over with, Katrinkich.
Purdy.
Nothing but love, Justin. Nothing but love. But it's been a rough one. It's been a rough one for the number 1 overall pick. He did get a huge day this week from receiver CeeDee Lamb, catching 10 balls for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Damn. CD's coming on. Dallas Cowboys coming on.
CD definitely coming on. Not coming on so much this week was DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, what's up?
How does this happen? 1 catch for 4 yards?
Now, was this Colt McCoy the whole game?
No, it was Trace McSorley, but he had 10 targets. Who cares who's throwing the ball to you if he's throwing it to you 10 times? But the quarterback must be fucking awful if you only caught one of them for 4 yards.
It's funny because watching Hard Knocks, then you kind of seeing like the families up there, like, oh, he's in there, okay, But it's got to be scary to step up and be you're the 3rd string quarterback, and you're like, shit.
I suppose, but shouldn't you be thrilled? And I don't know. Trace McSorley may have been thrilled. I don't know, but that's your.
To be honest, I don't know. Is he a rookie? What is Trace?
No, I know that name. He's definitely been in the league a year or 2 at least. I don't think he's a rookie, but I could be wrong about that. But
that's when I saw that was my Hard Knocks moment. And the last episode was when what's his face went down, the tight end went down, and McBride was standing next to him.
Yeah,
he's like, shit, fuck. Oh, hey,
you good? Yeah, you got this, right?
Yeah, you're good, right? Are you a good player? All right, get in there. All right, we're good. That sums up his coaching stuff. Fuck, shit. You're good? Oh, you're good. All right. We're good.
Good.
Yeah, that was great.
That was the best.
Tough result from the quarterback position this week for Justin. He went with Purdy. He went with newcomer to the Niners, Brock Purdy, instead of Dak. And Dak, Dak didn't like that too much. He went for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Dak, yeah, that was they needed that, and that was, I think, a lot of their defense. But I'm never have been a big Dak Prescott fan, so
nor am I.
I don't think he's like. I don't see him winning a Super Bowl. I'll just say that right now, ladies and gentlemen. There's 0 viewers watching live. Dak Prescott will not.
I hope none of those people are in Dallas. We're going to hear about it.
We are big in Dallas.
I got to say, I would probably have started Purdy as well if you were playing the Washington Commanders, based on what this week was looking like.
Yeah.
Well, I am Washington has good defense, and then I see now that they're benching Heineke and going with
Carson.
Wentz.
Wentz.
Yeah. A late trade. They've traded back for Kirk Cousins.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
Could they see about Matt Ryan? Maybe.
Let's trade for Matt Ryan.
Wait. Frank Reich, is he available? No.
Yes.
Hey, Vinny Testaverde played until he was that. No one talks about that.
Speaking of Hackett, they're talking about getting Hackett back to Green Bay for this season to help Rodgers out for the rest of the way.
Frank Reich could help out Washington in ways that we don't know.
That would be awesome if Hackett went back to Green Bay and won a Super Bowl.
That'd be great.
Aaron Rodgers says it's still a work in progress.
Ayahuasca.
What can you say about this dream scenario where you had such a tough time in Denver and now you come to Green Bay and you win the Super Bowl? What can you say about that? Fuck you, Russell.
Easy breezy. What?
Russell's statement was, "Gee, I wish I could have played better for a coach."
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm still cooking. I swear.
I tried.
All right. So anyway, we're not here just to cast stones. We're not here to talk ill about Justin's team. Let's celebrate Caitlin's team. Possible MVP Patrick Mahomes has been fantastic for her all year. He is the quarterback number one, despite having almost no rushing yards for the entire season. And he had 3 more touchdowns this week.
Oh, he had one of the better touchdowns I think I've seen this season, where he he was on one arm, lifted himself up.
He hit the pole.
Yeah. It's like he was doing a one-arm push-up.
Just kind of grazed the pylon.
He hit the pylon. Sorry, not the pylon.
That should be the league logo right there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
She survived with a -4 even. I like it.
She did. -4 from that Denver defense. Whew, that's a tough. I mean, Baker just torched them, man. I was considering playing them in a different league, and Baker just smoked them.
I mean, can we also, brief digression aside?
Yeah.
What the Rams, every year they're the Super Bowl team. I'm doing my Collins work. But
that was a good one.
Let's bring in Baker. Look at what's happened. Wow.
Yeah.
How long was he learning that book?
He's a genius.
No.
He's a genius.
Genius.
See what you can do without Stefanski and okay. I'll give this to Baker. Baker had how many different coaches in Cleveland? Back to the Browns.
A lot of different coaches, a lot of turmoil. I'm no Baker fan, but he's always been accurate. That's one of the things that they've always said about him. So McVay calls the plays. Who knows?
At what point did McVay should I have taken a TV job? I mean, they got the Campbell Soup ads.
Yeah. Those are awful.
Those are fucking terrible. But it was I was doing that Bill Simmons podcast with Pete Carroll. That was pretty good, and I could have gone into being that old.
At the end of that Campbell Soup commercial, he celebrates with somebody, and they chest bump, and he says, "Let's go!" And the guy chest bumps him and returns by saying, "Let's go." And someone got paid to write that. That's a commercial someone got paid to write.
Yes, and I would have added just like we drew it up.
Yeah, that's a good one. But it's the NFL, so they should have added good shit.
Well, the talk here in LA is that he's going to play 2 or 3 more years and then go into broadcasting. He wants to ride it out, maybe see what Baker has, and see what Baker can do with Cooper Kupp.
Are you really hearing that in the local media? That Baker?
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
they did it with Jared Goff. They got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, Stafford's cooked. If that arm is,
if you watch that Hard Knocks, the double when it was the Chargers and the
that
Rams,
was a good one.
It was McVay was like, why are you throwing the ball like that? I think with Baker, it's, hey, good job. I think they're like, okay, you understand how to be coached.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. All right. Never mind.
I rest my case.
Evan Ingram may be someone who knows how to be coached because Doug Peterson's getting a lot out of his tight end lately. Another 7-catch, 113-yard explosion for Ingram.
Down from New York, shows up late in the season in Jacksonville as a tight end, top 5 at least the last couple of games.
Last couple of games for sure. I mean, he had 11, 33, 10, and 14 in his last 4 games.
Damn.
I mean, the knock on him was he always dropped footballs in New York, but look what they're doing. 19. Look what he's doing. Jacksonville's playing well. I don't know why I can't think of that quarterback's name. Lawrence. Trevor is doing well.
Jacksonville's going to be one of those teams that in the preseason next year that a lot of fantasy football experts are going to be really high about.
Oh, yeah. You got Calvin Ridley coming in.
Yep, exactly. We're talking about Etienne and Trev taking a step and Ridley. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. No, that'll be a fun team to watch. And then I like the late resurgence of Pacheco McKinnon combination and in the old Kansas City Chiefs.
You talk about Ingram coming on the last few weeks. Here's the last 4 weeks for Jerick McKinnon: 13 points, 28.9, 30.2, and 11.3. I mean, it's ridiculous. McKinnon is winning leagues for people right now.
Yep, he won. We didn't win my league, but he won 2 games for me. I mean, he catches that ball and takes off. It's pretty exciting that, and I can play because I have Pacheco and McKinnon, so safely play both of them. But I also see Justin had Dallas Goedert back. I forgot about that.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I think a lot of people thought that was a season-ending injury. I kind of feel like
too.
That was reported, wasn't it? Like I feel like I couldn't believe that took me completely by surprise that he was coming back this year.
That was true because I picked up in a dynasty league the backup tight end, not thinking that he would be coming back. Yeah.
But he's back, and excuse me, didn't do a ton this week, but he'll definitely get worked back into that offense. And if Jalen Hurts comes back, he's going to be one of those guys next year. For a position that's much maligned, right? We talk a lot of shit about the tight end position. We come into the season saying it's only going to be Kelsey, and then maybe Mark Andrews, and then maybe Kyle Pitts, and no one else was talking about anyone else in the tight end position. But look at these guys. Look at what T.J. Hawkinson is doing. Look at what Ingram. We just talked about the last game. With in Grant's matchup when they had the 3 tight ends all going off. Like, I don't know. There's more. I think there's a little more talent out there than we give it credit for.
I know. I mean, I also want to say too. I mean, like Sidian Kittle. He would have little spikes here and there. I'm looking at the last 16 weeks. But then when he does, it's like 1, 2, and it's like, his yards are always over 80. And it's like, oh, okay. That's a TE. All right, fine. Okay. 120, unexpected. We'll take it.
Yeah, there's a big week for tight ends all across the league. No,
it was a huge 0 for a kicker, Nick Folk.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's doubly painful, obviously, because Justin, being the Patriots super fan that he is, he has to suffer that on 2 levels, not only on the fantasy realm, but also in reality.
Yeah. See, there you go.
That's the life we've chosen, folks. This is the Laemmle League. It has 1 more week left in it, and it's been a great season.
Yeah, it's fun. Come down here. It's the Super Bowl. It's the Laemmle League Bowl. A lot at stake. Some cash prizes.
Indeed.
The chance to say either you're back to back, and next year it will be three-peat will be your name, and then
I don't know about that, Mikey. I don't know about that. We'll see.
Commissioner takes his. This will be your second. You're looking for your second.
I'm looking for my third, Mikey. Thank you very much.
3.
I already am quite fond of being the only Laemmle leaguer with multiple titles, and I don't want any company in that club. I'm like the Miami Dolphins. Every time someone loses and it's not going to be a multiple champion, I pop a champagne, and so I feel honored and privileged to be able to stand in the way, or at least attempt to stand in the way of Apted claiming this milestone.
No, I've been in these leagues for off and on for like 20 years. I've yet to be in a league where the champion gets something. I mean, besides cash, they get a trophy, they get a ring, a certificate, free tattoo.
Yeah.
I've yet to be in a league where you actually get some hardware.
Yeah, we batted that around 4 or 5 years ago about doing some sort of a trophy, and it kind of lost steam. But I like that. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I could add it here to my my fake golf dad of the year trophy. I never won a trophy as a kid. Damn it!
I kind of want to find and I'm sure I could ask Ace, Eric, this tech company, like a splicer or something.
Oh yeah, I'd want a gold or silver. Necklace.
I'm just thinking like a new made splicer with we could like put something on there. It's like Laemmle League. This is a Laemmle League new made splicer.
I think I've got like a 2K reel that I wanted to like put a plaque on at some point.
That's a good one. With a clock on it too.
Right. Something.
Yeah.
But anyway,
a 2K reel, like a good metal 2K reel would be good.
Yeah. But as of right now, we've got nothing. We can only play for pride and money, of course. So yeah, that's enough for me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'll be watching, and the number 3, as it should be. Who's number 2? Christy. Or no, Parker.
No, it was Parker.
Yeah. So 1 and 3 show up in the Laemmle League Bowl, and it will be a barn burner. Are you going to do the same? Are you going to keep do your exact same system you've been doing all year? Not pay attention, not know. Wait.
I don't. Well, it's hard not to at this point. I mean, we spent 15 weeks talking about these teams now, and I kind of know at this point. So
it's our 15th episode.
I don't know who's starting though. That's the thing. Apted is stacked. You know what I mean? So there's a number of different guys he could sub in there. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Tomorrow we've got the Cowboys matchup. So unless he's hurt and he's questionable right now, I'll be starting Tony Pollard. I don't know if he's starting Zeke, but if so, that could be interesting.
I mean, that was also a thing that I was wondering about too, of like, you've seen coaches making these statements where it's like, no, we're always playing. It doesn't. No, we don't bench people.
No, that's not true. If you got it locked up and nothing to play for, I mean, I'm worried. I'm worried. I don't know how much AJ Brown's going to be involved. There's a lot of guys who don't have a ton to play for this week. So, that's part of the game. That's part of fantasy football, is knowing that. So we'll see.
Yep, and you got a standalone. I think you got a Monday night game with Jamar Chase.
Jamar goes on Monday night. So if I'm even within striking distance, I'll have a shot because it's Jamar. So that could be a fun way to end it.
Yep. Well, I have this chance. I wish everyone a happy New Year, safe New Year's to go into 2023, and we'll have one championship episode and left in our Hard Knocks in season.
Indeed. But I think we have 2 more episodes to go too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Season finale. We got to build something up.
Yeah.
Cliff has to get fired.
Yeah. Maybe I'll. Yeah, we got to have a special guest on at least.
D-Bag gets the can.
Yeah.
Well, until then, best of luck to everybody this week, obviously, except for Ted. Good luck, Grant and Mike D.
Thank you.
Yep. Happy New Year,
Pleasure
everyone.
as always, fellas.
Merry New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you both.
Good luck, everyone.
All right, buddy.
Later. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.